Well, it's checkout day, and I'm out of here. Days in campground and RV park has been nice. It's also nice to get out of the campground. All you hear are bikes. No complaints. It's a good thing. I'm going to run through town one last time and check out some of the main strip. Keep this thing going. Why not?
Well, after a few days in Sturgis, it was actually just time to hit the road. And what I decided to do here was just take the highway right into Milwaukee. It took obviously a couple of days to get there. The weather was better than it's been the whole time I was in Sturgis. And you've probably seen a lot of the videos and people coming back and talking about just how wet it was. Sturgis was rained out pretty badly in the first few days. After that, though, it actually got pretty nice. And the day that I was leaving was, well, it was similar to this day here. I decided to just hit the highway, make some good time, and go right to Milwaukee. And in Milwaukee, which is coming up, was something that I've always wanted to see. I was actually going to see Milwaukee, the Harley Museum, on the way out to Sturgis. But my plans were changed and decided to hit it on the way home. So here I am just heading out that way. The traffic was great. This is actually in Wisconsin here, and I'm just heading to right into Milwaukee from here, and I'm going to go straight into the Harley-Davidson Museum.
I am on Canal Street here. I shouldn't be very far from the museum at all, so I'm going to actually make my way here and see where we are. Interesting. There you go, Harley-Davidson Museum. People arriving by car. I'm going to go to the motorcycle parking. Right at the front here. I think some of you have been here before.
Got 8,000 miles on it. I got it in June last year.
Well, my name's Chris. Danny?
And Donnie.
Donnie?
Yeah.
So you guys are riding from
Out to North Texas.
North Texas?
Yeah, about 50 miles north of Dallas.
And where are you guys going to go?
Here, and we're going to head across to North Dakota.
Yeah.
Probably, if the weather's fared up, we'll probably pass through Sturgis on the way back home. On my first trip up here, I was up here for the 95th celebration.
Right.
In 98.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a blue glasses. And I have gotten it in September 97. Brought it up here. Met some friends of mine. On that trip, I left them. Like Spirit.
I've heard that. I want to do that one too.
Well, and when I came down to Michigan, I made my way over to Lake, rode the ferry across with the Harley owners group in Michigan. They reserved the ship crossing. I just happened to stumble in there in the middle of the night.
Is this the one from here?
Yes.
Yeah, I took that over here on the way out.
Did you? Okay, so from Manawak, or from Ludington over to Manawak, and rode down here, met some friends of mine here at the celebrating 90th 5th.
Right.
And we rode, had a big parade and all that stuff. I was following him around, so I stayed turned around. I was like, damn, I told Danny, I said, I can get us down there to the museum. I said, I don't know a lot about it. So I just spent the one day here. And this was on Saturday, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We were down here somewhere in the parade before they built all this.
Yeah.
And I had to be back to work tomorrow Monday morning, so I leave out of here at 3 o'clock and head to Southern Oklahoma, you know. So
That's a long ride.
yeah, and that was 25 years ago, and I told him, I said, been wanting to come back since they built the museum.
So you haven't been here since they did all this?
No.
Well, I'm gonna check this out too because it looks pretty spectacular.
I've been wanting to come here for a long, long time.
Yeah. Me too.
We actually,
Here's an iconic site right on the canal here. Let's just go over and look at the dynamic hill climber. It's a gift from our family to all Harley-Davidson enthusiasts commemorating our lifelong association and shared past. Ride free, Nancy and Willie G. Davidson. Very cool. Very, very small. 360 around this thing. Not much to it. Unbelievable. And the front.
Where are you from?
I'm from Canada. Just
I'm
outside
from Iceland.
Iceland. Wow.
I got this tour in '66 tour.
Yeah?
Yes, I'm starting here at the museum and then we're gonna ride from Chicago to Los Angeles.
Nice. What are you riding?
I think we'll melt down.
Yeah, it'd be warm.
But in Iceland there is still volcano going on, so there's always volcano going off.
That's really interesting. And how's
No, not for me, I've lived there for 60 years, so
how's the riding in Iceland?
cold. I can tell you that, very cold.
Very cold.
And sometimes you get, you know,
Yeah.
I have a Dyna Fat Bob
Uh-huh.
with a Screaming Eagle 110.
Okay.
Tune up a little bit, I get lots of power from it.
So did you ship it over here?
No. I rent a car. I want to, because I take this tour with Eagle Riders,
Yes. Okay.
and I pay $11,000 for, you know, always on the 4-star hotels and breakfast and.
So
I got this. I got a. What's the name of the bike? Oh, my brain. Heritage Classic,
Heritage Classic. Okay.
140 motor, Milwaukee 140.
Yep. Taking that to LA.
Yes.
Well, Godspeed. Have a great trip.
It's my first time in America, so I am just trying to take everything in.
Welcome. Yeah, well, that's great. I'm glad you're starting here.
Yes, I'm staying at the, I don't know, it's over there, so
Nice.
somewhere I have to pick it.
Oh, well, all the best.
Thank you very much, sir.
Bye-bye. Meet all kinds. There you go. Okay, we're back.
So now finally into the museum, and this is the first bike that I saw. It's the 1903 serial number 001 behind glass. Just a spectacular bike. The beginning of the Harley reign. The museum is about 130,000 square feet. I believe it started construction in 2006 and it opened in 2008. So there's just so much to see. There's so many bikes here. And one of the things that you notice, and you can see as you're walking through the museum, is just how Harley-Davidson was able to basically build motorcycles for different applications. You'll see a lot of service motorcycles in there. Obviously, the World Wars were big for Harley, where they had production bikes built for World War I and World War II, which really helped them stay relevant during those tumultuous times where the world and basically the country went to war. Also, with respect to service vehicles too, they got very creative with their trikes and delivery vehicles. Also working with the local police and international police, providing motorcycles for them as well. This really helped Harley keep on top of their game and kind of pivot to different industry needs and basically provide motorcycles in different areas that had never been provided before. It is an interesting one of the U.S. mail. So they had so many different things: delivery motorcycles, they had service vehicles, they had police motorcycles. The one that's really interesting to me are the ones that they used for World War I and World War II. A lot of these servicemen came back to their countries after serving in the war and were a little displaced, felt out of place, and they had a pretty good union with basically putting bike groups and clubs together. One early example of that was the Hells Angels, which is very relevant today as well, which I saw a lot of them at Sturgis and the like. So interesting to see all of those things. The other thing, when we're looking at the engines, Harley had gone through just a multitude of changes in their engines as well. And I believe it wasn't until 1996 that they actually introduced the fuel-injected engine. But you got the pan head, you got the knuckle head. You've got a couple of examples of those on this wall here too, but everything from the very beginning to the M8 or the Milwaukee 8 that is used in motorcycles, the Harleys today. So walking through this, you really get a real sense of the evolution of this company. And when I walked into the hall that had all the gas tanks, you really see some of the styles change from beginning to now. They're very big on the teardrop tanks. The one tank that's different than these teardrops is when you get into the Sportsters, which are the peanut tanks. But there's a couple. There's one right there. Oh no, so that's a teardrop. But there's just so much to see. Again, here's another police motorcycle, but this row goes all the way down the corridor there, and they're just cordoned off. I can't even hazard to guess how many motorcycles are sitting here right now. It's probably over 100. And there's multiple stories in the museum itself. Also, it's interesting to see some of the stories that are on the plaques and the pictures that are provided as well. Obviously with Harley-Davidson, basically chopping up the bikes was a big thing back in the 60s and 70s, which it still is today, but obviously the changes and the way that we chop and modify our motorcycles are a lot different than they were back in the 70s.
So just getting back to the engines a little bit with Harley-Davidson, I mentioned that the last version of engines was the M8 or the Milwaukee 8. There's been 8 different versions of the Big V twins, starting with the F head, which I believe went from rated to 1929. Then they went into the flat head, the knuckle head, the pan head, which we saw on the wall there too, the shovel head, the Evo or the block head or the Evolution, the twin cam, also known as the fat head. And then that, I believe, went till right out to 2017. And then with the introduction of the newest version, which is the M8 or the Milwaukee 8. So you saw that motorcycle there with a plate signed by Willie G. G. Davidson and the Harley team has really been able to stay connected with their riders. Willie actually spent a lot of time out on the road just with grassroots, not so much research. He was just part of the rider club, So I guess that's one of the benefits of being one of the sons of the or grandson, I'm not sure, of the original Harley-Davidson family that started everything. So when you buy a Harley, there's a huge connection, almost like a family. And I know that a lot of other manufacturers have tried to be that way. Indian, I guess, is a close second when it comes to that, but the problem with Indian has faced through the years is that they've changed hands so many different times, and for many years they actually weren't even a company. So recently Polaris has bought them over, and I think that's probably the best marriage that anybody has had with Indian, being able to keep it sustainable. That being said, Harley has gone through a lot of changes as well, but you see this guy here with the tattoo on his back. There's no company in the world that I know of that anybody would do that to their back or put that ink on there. So this is just a picture of the shed, a little bit about the history of the shed and the start of the company. So I think there's a lot to be said with where they've come from to where they are. So this took me to the end of my trip. This was the last leg of the journey here. Just looking back, it was a great trip. It was a 100% solo trip, all the way out to Sturgis, South Dakota from my home. This was one of the things I had on my bucket list, and I was actually very, very pleased and happy to actually be able to get in to see the museum on the way home. Also, looking at all the bikes here, it just kind of makes you think about all the people that ride and why they ride, and it's just a great escape. It's something that's you don't feel the elements in a car like you do on a motorcycle. And here I am, just on my way from Milwaukee. Here is just scooting up Wisconsin into Michigan, and then I find myself on the top of Michigan. And what I didn't realize was I was actually on the partial of the Lake Superior Loop, and that's another one that I want to put on the list in terms of riding, because there's just so much to see, and the scenery up there is spectacular. This was nice. Kind of reminded me of riding in Muskoka with all the pine trees, but it's not the same as going up onto northern Lake Superior. The scenery up there is just unbelievable. Some of the roads down here, they were in great shape, but when roads are in great shape, there's always construction, and I did get a couple of stops. You can see the pylons as I go by. This part of the road here had just been freshly paved. But one of the things I think of when I'm on freshly paved road, like this fresh, when you have pylons on the side of the road, ultimately you're going to actually come to the end of that pavement and come onto either the grooved asphalt or asphalt missing, and you're on just gravel. And that did happen here for a couple of miles. But that's the price you have to pay for really nice roads. One thing about Michigan, when I was riding Michigan roads, they were really, really good shape. So they take care of their roads. I know that the winters are hard on the roads, so they're always working on them there too. So I was really thankful that I was able to do this trip. I've been planning it for several years. However, with the pandemic and the lockdowns that we all experienced globally, it just wasn't feasible. This day here it started off as a great weather day, but once I left the Milwaukee Museum, we got into some rain, which was okay. I'm prepared for it, but as you can see here, there's several stops that I make just for fuel. The bike gets about 350 kilometers or so in terms of mileage. So I'm stopping every 3-4 hours or so, and this was just one of those stops along the way.
I have no idea what the weather's doing here, but this ride is spectacular. I'm on Highway 2 heading towards Sudbury, and this has been the drive or the ride. It's just gorgeous. There's a little beach on Highway 2, the top of Lake Michigan. You can see over there, I'm not sure, it looks like rain over there, but don't know for sure. Anyhow, I'm going to make some tracks and get on my way. This highway is really good shape and making some good time.
So this concludes the great trip that I was able to arrange and basically finish off. The ride both there and back home was spectacular, and people wonder why we ride motorcycles and why we do these trips. Well, these little images here kind of show you why. The scenery that we get to experience, again, like I said before, it's not like driving in a car, you're on a motorcycle, so all the experiences of the area, the temperature, the smells, you get to experience it all. It's just it's a great way to travel. I do want to say thanks so much for watching the channel. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the videos. It's been a great experience, and I really appreciate you guys checking into the channel and watch. It's a little bit different than most of my videos, so I just thought I'd do a little bit of a music vacation and take it out with this trip. So thanks for watching again, and take care.